For many years, I was deeply involved in the occult world. I attended secret gatherings where witches and satanic agents mocked Christians who prayed. We laughed because most of those prayers never reached God's throne at all. Why did this happen? Because we understood spiritual laws, laws that allowed us to intercept, silence, and block midnight prayers before they could do any harm to us. I was once given an assignment to monitor believers who prayed at exactly 12 midnight. While they believed they were shaking heaven, I stood on the other side, shaking my head and enforcing the rules of darkness against them. Today, I want to expose these hidden spiritual laws, the same laws that were used against you, so that your midnight prayers can finally break through. I am not speaking from books or theories. I am confessing from real assignments I carried out in Nigeria, where I worked as part of coordinated network of witches and occultic agents. I was sent into homes, churches, and even hospitals to ensure that prayers never reached God's altar. We carefully watched who prayed, and when they pray, if someone prayed weakly, we ignored them. If someone prayed with power, we marked them as a target. Many times, I sat in dark rooms filled with smoke and chants, watching as people's prayers were weighed and intercepted in the spiritual realm. Some prayers burned on instantly, others were so weak that we laughed and crushed them easily. The truth is this: midnight prayer is one of the strongest weapons a believer has, but it is also the most attacked by the kingdom of darkness. Now, I will review the 4 major laws we enforce to stop prayers from rising. Number 1, the law of atmosphere. We knew that prayer are not just spoken words. They travel through spiritual atmosphere. If we polluted the atmosphere around you, your prayer lost weight and power. In Ibadan, Nigeria, there was a young woman named Esther, a devoted believer who always prayed at midnight. Her prayers were fierce. During our coven meetings, we noticed her consistency. We could not attack her directly, so we attacked her atmosphere. Every night before she prayed, she caused sudden arguments in her family. Her sister would provoke her. Her mother would complain loudly. Her phone would flood with useless messages. By the time she knelt down at midnight, her heart was heavy and her mind distracted. She still prayed, but her words had no fire because the atmosphere was poisoned. In Enugu, Nigeria, a man named Chukwudi led midnight prayers in a small church. Our mission was simple: destroy the environment. We steered loud music from a nearby bar each time he prayed. Dogs barked non-stop outside his window. Neighbors fought loudly at exactly 12 a.m. His prayer became short, tired, and inconsistent. The law of atmosphere worked. His prayers no longer rose with strength. Law number 2, the law of agreement. Spiritual agreement multiplies power. We knew that if we could push someone into agreement with fear or sin before midnight, their prayers would lose authority. In Abeokuta, Nigeria, there was a student named Halima who prayed faithfully at midnight in her hostel. Before she prayed, we attacked her through immoral dreams. Whenever she fell into secret sin during the day, it formed a spiritual agreement against her. At night, when she prayed, she presented the evidence of her sin in the spiritual court. Heavens became silent, not because God was absent, but because she has unknowingly agreed with darkness. In Calabar, Nigeria, a fisherman named Bassi was a stubborn prayer warrior. No matter what we did, he prayed harder. So we used his anger. Before midnight, his neighbor would insult him intentionally. Bassi would explode in rage, curse the man, and hold bitterness in his heart. At midnight, when he tried to pray, we declared he has agreed with bitterness. That bitterness cancelled the fire in his prayer. Law 3, The law of substitution. If we could not stop a prayer, we redirected it. We changed the target so that prayer never hit its real purpose. In Akure, Nigeria, there was a pastor named Pastor Samuel Adebola. He prayed every midnight against witchcraft in his community. We applied substitution. While he believed he was binding witches, we redirected his prayer into confusion about his finances. He became frustrated and poor, yet believed he was winning spiritually. His church collapsed, not because his prayer was weak, but because the target had been switched. In Uyo, Nigeria, a young nurse named Zainab prayed at midnight for her sick father. We could not stop her prayers, so we substituted them. Instead of covering her father, her prayers were redirected to strangers in distant places. She woke up feeling victorious, but her father's condition worsened quickly. Substitution made her prayer miss their true assignment. Law number 4, the law of timing. Midnight prayers are dangerous to us because they strike the gates of time. If we delay or misalign the timing, the prayer lost its force. In Ilorin, Nigeria, there was a trader named Sadiq who always planned to wake up at midnight. We attacked his body with sudden heavy sleep. He would wake at 2:30 a.m., tired and discouraged. He still prayed, but the midnight gate had already closed. The law of timing robbed his prayer of power. In Owerri, Nigeria, a choir leader named Ruth prayed daily for her church. We knew her prayers were powerful at exactly 12 a.m. So we sensed distraction, stomach pain, late night calls, sudden hunger. She spent 30 minutes battling her body and ended up praying at 1 a.m. By then, demonic altar had already been strengthened. Her prayer became an echo instead of weapon. These are the laws we enforce in darkness: the law of atmosphere, the law of agreement, the law of substitution, and the law of timing. Many believers think they are praying, but their prayer never leaves the room. I am not sharing this to scare you, but to warn you. Midnight prayer is real warfare. If your atmosphere is polluted, if you are in agreement with sin, if your prayer are substituted, or if your timing is delayed, then the darkness already has the advantage. But if you stand in holiness, guide your heart, and stay aligned with the Spirit of God, no laws of darkness can stop your midnight cry.